Alright guys, so today we're going to go over a few passes. The first one we're going to start with is a leg drag using the pants grip, and at the end I'm going to show you a way that you can tie all these passes together from one position. Alright, so from here, let's just say my opponent puts me in De La Riva from here, and he has this leg kind of open, kind of free here. With my right hand, I'm going to make sort of like a cross grip here. I know you can do the leg drag by just using your hands cupping, but today we're going to use the pant grip here. And in a similar motion, I'm going to try to retract my opponent's knee to his chest and then pull it back past my hip if I can. So once again, we're going to push my opponent's knee slightly into his chest and then back again, back out. That way it's kind of like his foot's kind of resting on my hip a little bit. With my left hand, I'm going to make a pants grip here, which is going to elevate his hips a little bit. That way it's harder for him to kind of turn into me. If I didn't have this grip, he can easily put his hips to the mat, start getting his legs back, maybe even throw that leg over. And there are passes you can do from there, but to avoid all that, once we do get this part of the leg drag done and his foot's on my hip, we're going to make a pants grip here, kind of pulling his hips up a little bit, making it hard for him to turn in. Now, one of the most common reactions when you do a leg drag that you're going to see is your opponent starts to turn away. And from here, he's trying to maybe go to turtle, recover his guard, things like that. So as soon as we make this pants grip here, as my opponent starts turning away, I'm going to make a collar grip right here. So it's hard for him to fully turn away and go to turtle. And as he is trying to turn away, I'm sinking my weight into him and finally stabilizing high control here. First, I'm going to break the De La Riva grip by pushing it down, and his free leg here, which is his right leg, I'm going to use both my hands to kind of push it into his chest and retract it back to my hip right here, so his foot's resting on my hip. My left hand makes a pants grip just near his hip right here, and I'm pulling it up. Now when I'm pulling him up, immediately my right hand can let go of this pants grip right here and go over the top of his knee to make this collar grip. And from here, if he tries to turn away, it's no problem. I can start resting my weight onto him here. I can even make a horse collar grip here if he's really turning away and it's hard to hold him down by pulling him back down to side control. There are also back take options from here, but all in all, you did finish your pass there. So once again, I'm kind of making C grips here. I'm pushing my opponent's leg in, so I'm breaking the De La Riva grip while my right leg comes back. Now from here, I'm making a pants grip with my right hand, so my opponent's leg is kind of retracted here, which I want, and I'm pulling it past my hip. My left hand makes a pants grip right here, pulling his hips up just a little bit. My right hand will then go and make this collar grip so he can't turn away. And then I start settling my weight and finishing. So the second pass that I'm going to show today is a simple cross grip pass that you can set up from a lot of different positions. This one it's okay to be creative with, but I'm just going to show a couple ways you can set it up and a couple ways I like to finish it. From today, we're going to start just if my opponent is in a seated kind of open guard. Even if he is sitting up, we can easily get him back to the seated position by lifting both his ankles up, so force him to go on his back here. I'm going to make, with my right hand, I'm going to make the cross grip right here. You can go under his other leg as well, but a lot of times they're going to start bringing that over. So let's just say we make this cross grip, cross pants grip here, my right hand to his right leg, and I start circling to the outside over here. My left hand is going to try to make a collar grip here. A lot of times he's going to be fighting this collar grip, so if you have to make it low on his collar first, we can always start hiking it up later. So as long as we make collar grip here, start circling out here, I can start moving it up once I make it. Now from here, ideally I want to start sinking my left shoulder into him, but he might start throwing his left leg in. Yeah, this way he can create distance, push me away, get his guard back. So to avoid all this, when he does throw that leg in, yes, just like that, I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to kind of sit my chest on top of his leg right here, just like this, kind of crushing his hips here. And from here, I'm going to start extending this, keeping this, his right leg extended by straightening my arm out, and I'm going to start moving into him this way. That way I can pin his shoulders to the mat right here, and I can start shifting my weight by putting my left shoulder into a deep cross face, and either take side control, or from here I can go straight into mount as well. So once again, if my opponent is sitting up, I'm going to take both my hands, cup his ankles, pull him up. I'm going to make a cross grip again, start circling to the outside. I'm going to try to make this collar grip here. Maybe he tries to fight me, and so I make a low grip at first, and I can start hiking it up later. I keep circling just a little bit and make this collar grip turn into a cross face later on. And then when I'm over here, he starts throwing this leg in, yeah, just like that. And I take my right leg and I trap his leg, and rest my chest over the top. If I'm too low over here and his knee is still free, he can start making like a shallow lasso, and it could be annoying because he could push me off. So I want to make sure when I'm here, I settle my weight on top of his leg, just like that. That way he really can't push me off anymore. It's kind of weak, off balance from here. And I start taking my left hand from the collar grip and making it into a cross face. What I like to do with the cross face is, instead of putting my hand on his shoulder here, I like to put it kind of under his the center of his spine, like right here. That way, when I sink my left shoulder back into him, it's kind of perfect. And my left leg will come up, and really I can take side control, I can take mount. If you really want to, you can go back over to the other side and start passing this way. So however you like to finish your pass from there, be creative with it, but as long as you get to that position, you're in a dominant passing position. All right, and this last one, I'm going to show a way that I like to break the single leg X, and then you can use the leg drag and cross grip. So tying in the previous two passes from the single leg X position. Say my opponent puts me in single leg X. Just a couple things to notice here. His foot on my hip and his right leg underneath me. It's really powerful to off balance. He can off balance me this way, off balance me to the right side, to the left side, even back. So what I want to do first, the first thing I want to do is take my right leg and kind of drop it to his stomach right here and shoot my hip out a little bit, right there, my right hip out. This allows his foot to kind of be more in open air, and then I can circle it out just like this, but I don't want my leg to stay here. I kind of want to pull it back just a little bit, so it makes it harder for Sunshine to get that hook back in. If I were to keep it at the same distance, so if I were to push it off and just stay here, he can easily pull it back. But by breaking it off and then pulling your leg back a little bit, it's very hard for him to get that hook back in. It makes it more difficult. So once we've taken that grip off, the next thing we're going to deal with here is his right leg that was underneath, just like in a headquarter type of position. Taking my left hand, and I'm kind of trying to make his calf touch his hamstring right here, making it touch his chest as well. This allows the windshield wipe to come into play, just like that, to step over it. So I'm compressing his leg just like this. If you want, and if your opponent lets you as well, you can make this grip right here. It could be hard to get, but we're going to focus on taking care of this right leg right here and windshield wipe over it. Now from here, what we can do, we can go into a leg drag, but before we go into the leg drag, we want to bring this right leg back a little more, setting up for that cross grip leg drag that we were working on. Say we get back into the position, I break this leg off, pull my leg back, I windshield wipe over. We can also do that cross grip pass that we were working on earlier, taking my left hand, going underneath my opponent's right leg, making a grip on his left leg, and I start to circle out right here, and I can finish it in the same way. Probably the most common pass I like to do from here is actually finishing in north-south from single leg X. So once again, I'm breaking his foot off my hip, pulling my leg back. I'm kind of compressing his leg here just enough so he's going to try to hook here with his foot, and so by pushing it in, even if he does try to make a hook, it's weak here, and I can easily windshield wiper over. So make sure when you're windshield wiping that your shin is like across his shin. You're making contact the whole time. You're not really trying to create space like that over there, because if I do create space, he can hook and follow me, and he could end up off bouncing me as well. So I really want to compress his shin with my shin, making sure that he can't make an effective hook and follow my leg. Now when I do windshield wipe over, I'm still tight to his leg, and I can start taking my right hand and going to his right leg, and taking my left leg out and start going to north-south here. Now there are a bunch of ways to finish the north-south pass. Just the way I like to do it, I start to keep control of his legs right here so he can't bring it back in. Try to keep his knees away from his chest. I like to put my head in the middle right here, and then I like to follow it up with the right shoulder, and I like to finish right here in north-south or go to side control as well.